Hello and welcome to Grace.Filled Reads. My name is Christy and I want to share with you guys what I read in August and September. First of all, if you're new here, I just want to say welcome. Thank you for stopping by my little corner of the world. If you're returning, I just want to say thank you for coming back and showing me love again. I am so excited to tell you what I was able to read for August and September. Now, keep in mind, I do have 5 kids. I am in college. I've got animals, I've got a lot of things going on, so I'm not able to read as much as I would like to read, but my goal is to read 4 books per month when possible, and I definitely met and surpassed that goal. So we're going to start off with what I read for August, and that's this stack here. So, I read this Present Darkness by Frank Peretti, and I'm a Frank Peretti fan now. This book was so good. Oh man, I wanted to do like a whole video on it, and I did some videos, and I think you guys remember a while back that I shared with you got deleted, and I was so sad. But there was just so much going on, from the professor at the college to, oh my goodness, the angels, and just getting to know who each angel was, and seeing how when we pray, the angels come and they answer, and to see the dialogue between the angels when you're talking about there's little prayer cover. And there was this guy named Hank, and it said, Hank is here in Ashen. He's praying every hour of every day. We are called here for his sakes, for the sakes of God and for the Lamb. I mean, that right there in itself, how many people can just say that? So that was really amazing. There was just so many gems that I learned in here, from the different spirits, complacency and fear, and just all the things. This was such an amazing book. I mean, I was like this the entire time, just waiting to hear what was going to happen next, to know what was going on. And this professor was just into this Eastern mythology. I think that's what, or metaphysics or something. I don't know which. She was just into a bunch of things, and just to see lives being changed, and just to see the power of prayer. If I could say one thing about this book, it would be just to pray. And I shared this in a tag video that I just did. If I only could read 2 books in the entire world before I died, or if I could read a book, I think this would be one of the books that I would read, or it would be the book, because it is so amazing and so phenomenal. Next up is Tony Shiloh. So Tony has a whole set from, it's a Freedom Lake novel series. It's 3 of them, and I read 2 in the month of August. And so Michelle, let's see, I think Returning Home was first. Yes. So Jo Ellen Baker is shocked to find out that the boy that teased her has returned, but he's missing a leg. And no one told her that he's missing a leg. And she has her own construction company that her daddy left her when she died. And so she's just really been pouring her heart and soul out into that. And her mom's kind of upset about that, because she really wants her to do something else and have kids and be more like elegant and fancy like her and her sister. But she went ahead and did a reconstruction for his house on Evan's house, and they end up falling. Well, can't tell. Yeah, they end up falling in love. It's so sweet. It's such a beautiful thing. Because, we see wounds in here. We see so many dynamics here. And this is absolutely an amazing book. And I am so happy. He liked her. They were like childhood friends or whatever. And it's just such a beautiful story. And so we follow it up with Michelle. Yes. So Michelle and Jo Ellen are friends. She has it all beautiful, successful. She just opened up her law firm, and there is Guy. And Guy is still trying to get over the fact that his wife just died. And the sad part is she died giving birth to their daughters. And so their daughters don't have a mama, but they are like the cutest little girls. And so it is such a great book. And the crazy thing is they actually used to date, and now they're getting a fresh start. A second chance at love. I know I can be a spoiler person, so I'm trying not to do that. I really want to do a whole video like on each of these books because there is so much that I can say. There are so many dynamics that go into these parts. There are a few trigger warnings. They're clean books. But these trigger warnings are so amazing, the way they are presented and the way they are done with such grace. There is faith interwoven and laced through it all. I am a Christian bookstagrammer, so all my books probably have some sort of faith into it. Tessa Asher, Jewel of the Nile. Guys, this book was amazing. So in this book, what is happening is Charlene was raised as an orphan by her aunt, and she knows part of her family's tragedy, tragic love story, but she doesn't know all of it. And so she is learning what's happened and what's going on. While visiting her grandfather, she overhears that her father is still alive. Now, mind you, she thinks that he's dead all of this time. And so when she finds out that he's alive, of course, she's interested. And so her grandfather and the queen forbid her. But when her clues bring her to Rome, she gets to meet her mother's dearest best friend. Her mother's friend loves her. Like, she blesses her. She shares with her all the things of her mom. Her house is like even modeled after one of her mom's designs. And she, like her mother, is very good with architecture. This is such a great historical fiction. It brings to life the lands of Kush and the Roman Empire. You know, for people who don't like history, books like this give you a greater insight and context of it. It's just beautifully done from start to finish, and we get to learn about eunuchs. And again, so many topics are just being discussed here. People are opening up their hearts, their minds, their spirits. There is transformation taking place. I think one person even comes to Christ and finds salvation. There's just so many amazing things going on in this book, and I absolutely love it. Such a great book. I cannot wait to get all of the books like this. I have probably half of Tessa's books now, and I have the rest of my wish list. And oh my gosh, all the historical fiction book here. I want them all. They're all good. I want them all. Next up, we have Thorn in the Saddle, and this is by Rebecca Weatherspoon. Now, I will say this book is not a Christian fiction book. I will say that. It is not. It is a good book. I like it. I will say all of these are 5-star reads. All of them. When I rate something a 5-star read, it means it has the capacity to change my life, or it changed my life. It's life-changing. It's something that if I'm able to have a private practice later, I want to have these books on a shelf, maybe by subjects or topics or themes or something, so that clients can grab this book and be like, wow, me too. Or, oh, I can relate to that. Or, oh, I did that too. Let me grab this book. Because, man, I didn't even tell you guys, but there is a case in here because she's a lawyer. Wow, you've got to just read the books. Okay, so with that being said, this book is not a 5-star. I would love to give it a 5-star because we get to see the ranch owner, Jesse Pleasant. First of all, let me show you his brother. So there's a third one in the series, but I haven't been able to find it yet. This was such a good book, and I think I read that in June. That might have been my July read, and then this was my August read. And I've looked a couple times, and I haven't been able to find the brother yet. Okay, back to the book. So I love the first one. This is about the brother. There's 3 brothers. The first one was about one brother, and now this one is about the second brother, Jesse. I like that we get to see how strong men really feel. And sometimes how they're so busy giving and doing and taking care of everybody else that they don't take care of themselves for their mental health, for their personal health, and they just give, do. And people are always thinking that they're strong and that they're like rocks of family and that they're amazing, and they absolutely are. But we forget they need love too. And we also forget that it can be tiring being the rock of the family. It can be tiring doing and being and giving everything to everybody. So I love that we get to see this perspective from this book. I love how Lily Grace comes and really touches Jesse's heart. She's really his first love. Another dynamic I love about this book is that the guy is almost pure. We don't see a lot of stories where men in almost their 30s and 40s are still pure, and he's almost there. So I love that he's almost pure. That makes me so happy because I have 4 boys and 1 girl, and I really want my boys to be pure when they're married. So I love all of those aspects of it. I'm like, yes for all of it. I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like that there is intimacy in this book. And I do not like that he uses a lot of profane language. There's probably about 4 or 5 curse words in the book, and I don't think he takes the Lord's name in vain. But I just prefer not to read books that have profane language in it. So for that reason, I did give this book, I think I gave it a 4 stars. But if we could take out those romance scenes and if we could take out the curse words, it's absolutely a 5 star. I want to be mindful of what I am consuming, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, book-wise, like in all areas of my life. I really want to be careful and I really want to be mindful. So that's just a personal conviction of mine. I have not always felt that way, and I did read the other book, and I was just like, yeah, I think I would prefer. So after I read that first book and I got the second one, I actually did a major haul, and that's when I got a bunch of Christian fiction and a bunch of other Christian books. So I don't actually have a lot of books here that are not Christian or clean books. And like I said, those 2 books are not clean because of the romance, but they are great books. They really are. The messages, the themes, the way that things are shown and portrayed. I mean, I have a lot of respect for this family. Their grandmother is a movie star. They are a strong, close-knit family. They living on a ranch. They are horse farmers. And I mean, everything about it is perfect. It's just the romance and the profane language. Otherwise, it is a dream. And do you see the men? Yes, I love it. I'm here for it. Let's get off that and let's go ahead into September, and then I'll show you what I did on my tablet. So I talked about 2 of the ladies. So now I'm going to talk about the 3rd friend, and this is Chloe. And there's only one thing that Chloe has ever wanted, and that's family. And the DNA has come back, and Chloe finds out that she is mixed, that her father is white. And I'm not really sure why, but it's kind of a big deal to her. And she just really struggles with it, and she has a hard time for it. And so, come to find out, the grandparents kind of are more racist, and that's kind of the whole reason why her mom and her dad weren't together. Her mom got pregnant young. The grandmother kind of put an end to the relationship. I don't think he knew about Chloe, but then the mom kind of got on drugs. And so the grandmother took Chloe, and Chloe is just such a beautiful gift from God. Like, I just love her. She's so sweet. And she's like always in her Bible and talking about the Lord. You know, if you have a problem, you can call her. And she's just like so amazing and just so sweet. And all she wants is a family. She's been raised by her grandmother. And, you know, she's really just kind of dedicated her life to God. And I love at the end how she gets what she's always wanted, and I just feel like I can relate so much to her. And in my own way, not exactly word for word, but I just love that. And so Daryl Jones is struggling between his past and the grace God so freely offers. His sins feel too big for him to handle, let alone expect the woman of his dreams to accept. So he's had a crush on her for a long time, but he just felt like there's no way she could like somebody like me because he has a past, and he feels like his past is like rendering him unacceptable and like ashamed, and he feels like that God can't forgive him and he can't, he's just so bound by his past. And that's the crazy thing about when we're bound by our past, it's us, it's not necessarily the people. It's just the way we feel, and God throws our sins into the sea of forgiveness. So he just doesn't think that she will be able to love and accept him for who and what he is if she really knows his secrets. And he doesn't really know all of her stuff either. So together they just heal and they grow, and it's just such a beautiful book. And again, it's with the same people, so that's really good. I will say that there is some tragedy that comes in here. There is some, but it is such a great book. It is. It's such a great book. So I am going to stop talking about this book because I've got 3 more to go. So keep holding on. So next I'm going to talk about Piercing the Darkness. And this is another Frank Peretti book. The first was 1 and this was 2. This book, oh my goodness. It's full of goodness, okay? It is a good book. Oh my goodness. 5 stars all the way. Like, again, all the books 5 stars except the one. It all begins in Beacon's Corner, a timing farming community far from the interstate. An attempted murder, a case of mistaken or cover-up identity. Listen, everything is exposed. Okay? Wow. This is crazy because what shall I say? There is evil ever present. This Piercing the Darkness, this present darkness, there is evil present. It is such a good book, and it is a story about a young woman who thought she was doing something great, thought that she had people that loved her and cared about her in her best interest, and she didn't really realize what she was doing, what influence she was under, and she had really opened herself up to the demonic realm, and she did not know it. And it is so important, again, that we are careful of what we see, do, hear, what we accept, what we allow into our space, because we can get attached to things and have a hard time getting attached from it, or not even know what just happened. And before you know it, Jonah has told her to commit a crime, and she had to go to jail for it. And Jonah's this spirit. And so it's a good book. It's not, anything like that. But just to see the angels and how it works when the people pray. And the whole story is really about trying to silence and kill this lady, Sally, who knows too much and who has too much evidence against these high power people who are being very corrupt, who are taking people's businesses, as in homes, and just doing the most. And it's like, why are you doing that just because you can? Okay, stop. And because you know what? That's kind of prevalent today. Some people keep getting more and more and more, and some people keep getting less, less, and less. So this was just a good book about the power of prayer. Pray, 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 pray. And to see when the people were praying, how the angels were strong and how they were winning. And when the people stopped praying, how it was such a struggle, how hard it was. And the people got so distracted by division and gossip and just all these things. And so it's just so important that we keep our minds pure and clean and not gossiping and backbiting and like bad talking and doing all these things because it really hurt the body of Christ. And so in this book we get to see the spiritual war and all that's happening. It's such a good book. Another great reminder to pray. If you can't do anything else in life, pray. Like, praying is so important. So next up is Tell Me Lies, Nothing But the Truth Series 1. And this one is Lie to Me, Nothing But the Truth Series 2. This is so good. Oh man. This is Michelle Linda Rice. This is my first time reading her books, but ooh, I was in love with it. Yes, yes, yes. So Sydney meets Pastor Noah, and it was like love at first sight. He had those beautiful blue eyes, and she was just like, ah. And she had those fly, expensive shoes, and he was just like, oh man. So when he takes her parking spot, and then she goes into the elevator. And what happens? But her heel snaps. And so it's a whole thing. She meets him at the mall. They fall in love. There's just this amazing, 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 beautiful story here. But there's a broken truth. And although Noah has come a long way, he has a past, and that past is trying to blackmail him. And now, not only does he have to worry about himself, but he has to worry about his lady. And so, man, the secret that he held, I feel like if he had shared it, things would have been so much better. But I understand why he felt like he couldn't share it, because if he shared it, he probably would have lost her anyway. It's one of those things, it's like, well, if I tell you, and if I don't tell you, so it's kind of like, wow. But he had some heavy secrets. Oh my goodness. And that affected her from both sides. And I want to tell you, but then like I might be spoiling. I think I should do a review. It's so good. It's so good. So good. So good. So good. So good. Okay. Next up is Belinda, who is Sydney's friend, and she's in love with Lance, which is Sydney's ex-fiance. Wow. But when Linda and Lance's relationship is exposed, she may have to choose between her man and her best friend. Wow. And Lance returns to Port Charlotte to make things right with Sydney, but his feelings for Belinda in the way. Lance knows for him to become a do-right man, he must face his childhood pain. And that was his father's issue. Now, mind you, he's a doctor, high prestige and all that. But see, we all have something that we contend with. A broken man, a broken trust, a broken truth, and a broken heart. This book was good. And it picks, I think I said for this series, there was a tragedy. I am so sorry. There was not a tragedy in this. Well, the tragedy I was speaking of was in here. And I'm so sorry. But oh, is this such a good book? Oh man, to see these people repenting, coming to Christ, like even them, they were having, I know I'm going back, but they were like having Bible study in their homes. Like, yes, come with it. That's what I'm talking about, like community and like, yes, that's what we need. Bible studies in the home and just like encouraging each other. So Sydney and Noah about to become parents, but a scary possibility threatens to shake up their marriage, especially when Sydney learns that Noah has kept even more lies from him. Monica has a dangerous love for Lance, which is why she stayed away from him. But when she is offered a large sum of money, she returns to rekindle her romance with Lance. Let me just stop right there. This lady is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And the person that hired her was even more cuckoo. It's just ridiculous that he would do all these things for his own personal gain. And in the end, it's not a spoiler alert, the thing that he wanted the most and the whole reason he hired her, paid all this money and did all this in the first place, he didn't even get it. He lost the thing that he wanted. He did all this for what? And the worst part is, he is supposed to be a pastor. Now, how many books now have I told you about these pastors? Oh, okay. Belinda and Lance are deep into wedding preparations and struggling to remain celibate. And I loved that portion when his old flame stirs up mischief. And let me tell you, she is doing the most, like stuff that you, like, who does that? Why would you do that? It was insane. We're almost done. Portia has a crush on the new office hottie, Nathaniel, but he has his eyes on Sydney. And they like each other. This was so good. Like, I couldn't put these books down. I was just like, oh my, oh wow. Like, all of these books, I think I read in one sitting each, or maybe 2 sittings each. These were such amazing books. They really were. They were so good. All of them interwove faith, redemption, change, all of those things. Hold on, let me get my let me get my tablet. And let me show you the last books. Oh my goodness, these are so... listen, okay, here's the deal with me while this is loading up. I don't have a lot of extra time, and I don't have a lot of time to play around, and I want my life to have purpose and meaning. And so I have to be mindful of how I spend my time, where I spend it, how I spend my time, the way I spend my time. This is the wrong one. Hold on. And I need to focus on what's really important. And so I have made a choice that I really want to. I have a lot of books that are not historical fiction, Christian reads. Like, I have some books that are not, but I really want to focus myself on books that promote and encourage change. Okay, let me tell you what I did not finish. Lost in Darkness. I tried, I really wanted to, because it was like a group of the month pick, and I was like, I want to do this, like I want to be a part, and I don't even know what percentage I was reading of it because I fell asleep. And I told you I read a book in 1 to 2 sittings, so the fact that I fell asleep, I don't know what was going on. The book wasn't for me. Maybe I can try again another time, but I've got so many books that are like interesting and like inspiring and like just so excited about. So I don't know that I'm gonna read a book again that put me to sleep. But I tried that, so that was a did not finish. And there was another book that I read. I had some amazing books that I wanted to read, Bookshop by the Sea, just a bunch of them, but I just didn't get a chance to get to those. What I did get to was Walking in Tall Weeds, and this was by Robin Pearson. Are you guys following me on Instagram? I never talk about it in my videos. I am on Instagram at Grace.Filled Reads, and I share all the books that I've read over there, and so it's a really cool place to connect and find me. But this Walking in Tall Weeds, it was like a Southern family drama about a family who discovered their history is only skin deep, and that God's love for their family is a tie that binds. And so it's so cool because we're talking about their son McKinley and how he's moved, and we get to learn why he moved a little bit later in the story, the beat that kind of happens between him and his father. I love how McKinley takes up for his mother. I love like how he just loves her, how sweet he is to her. I love the mother. She's so sweet. She's a darling. She teaches piano lessons. She homeschooled McKinley the whole time. Her family gives her time, but his family, her husband's family gives her time, but she is so sweet. And you guys know I homeschool my children, so like that already, I was like, yes. And piano, yes. And faith, yes. All the things, yes, 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 yes. And so actually this what was happening with McKinley was so much different than what I thought. I don't know why, but I thought like McKinley had been lying. I thought maybe like he was on drugs or something. Like I couldn't have put my finger on like what was going on. So when I found out what the real secret was, I was like, that was a secret. But it was still good though. And it wasn't a big love story, but it was just about dealing with the South. If you understand the South, then I think you'll get that. And so all things get tested. All things go through the fire. And so we see the mama get tested We see her almost die. We see the father have to lay down the very thing that he loves so much. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what am I willing to lose for this thing I love so much? Or what am I losing because of this thing I love so much? And am I willing to lay it down? And then we see McKinley, who's willing to go against the grain and forge and make his own ways. And he has his fiance, and she's not who everyone thinks that she should be. Okay, that was Walking Through Tall Weeds. That book was not life-changing, and it was good. I probably would give it, I think on Instagram I gave it 4 stars. It's like a 3.5, 4-star book. It's either like I love it or no. Like 5 stars for me mean, again, that it changes a life. This book did not change a life. And 4 stars for me means like it didn't change my life, but it was like so interesting and I didn't want to put it down. And this book kind of dragged out a little bit for me. So I think 3.5 stars would probably be best. But don't fret, because next up we have the masterpiece. And I got this recommendation from Sky. Oh, I should have told you who I got the other recommendation from. This Present Darkness and Pierce in the Darkness. I got these recommendations from Daughter of Increase, and then Francine Rivers I got from Sky, and the other lady's not on Instagram. I mean, not on YouTube, she's on Instagram. But the masterpiece, oh wow, this was such a good book. I don't even wow. It says, unexpected and redemptive love story. A probing tale that reminds us of mercy can shape even the most broken among us into imperfect yet stunning masterpiece. Listen, this artist was phenomenal. And then the lady's name is Grace. So of course I love that. Roman has a chip on his sleeve. Like Roman he has a hard time. Like he has a hard shell. Roman's been through a lot. Roman has been through a lot. And he's trying to find his way, and he's trying to find his path, and he finds purpose, and he finds love, and we see his heart and how selfless he is. And I love how he kind of follows the Lord's leading. I love that we see this transformation. Listen, the fact that he sold his house to go live in, they didn't really say it like that, but to go live in the hood to help the pastor, just with his church and with the youth, and to draw for him, and just like, it's just like in the Bible, leave it all to follow Jesus. No, the guy's not Jesus, but I'm just saying, like, such an amazing guy, and such a beautiful love story as well. And I mean, I just enjoyed that book from start to finish. And I don't know if you guys know or not, but I used to be a therapeutic foster mom. So that part of the book touched me, just seeing how his life was, and to see the trajectory of his life, and just to see the way things turned out with him being with the last foster family that he was with, and the way they loved him, the impact they made on his life, how they turned his life around, and from how her getting him to paint and things like that at her house, and just putting him in art classes, has then led to him being now this, I guess, world-renowned artist. So it's like, people we want to deem unworthy, unacceptable, we want to cast away and cast aside. Be careful how you treat people. Be careful how you put your mouth on people. Be careful how you assume. It's just better to be quiet and sweet and nice. If you can't say anything at all, just don't say anything, because we never know what a person is going through, has been through, and our mouths can be so damaging, or they could be really encouraging. And so I would just admonish you, just really just to, you have nothing to say nothing at all, and just to really think about what you're doing with your life, and how you're treating people, and how you're talking to people, because it all matters, especially if you proclaim Christ and you are wanting to be the hands and feet of Christ. Then it matters what you're saying and what you're doing in the life that you're living, because people could be looking at you, and you could be the only light or Christ that they have ever known. And actually, I know from some personal experience how important it is to be nice and to be kind. And so that is all the books that I read for August and September. It was 2 audiobooks, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got 11 things read in the 2 months. So that's really exciting to me because my goal is like 4 books a month. I choose 7. I come once a month and do TBRs on the 7 that I choose, and then I pick from the TBR. It's just something I started when I just started this YouTube channel like 2 months ago. Have I been on here for 2 months yet? I joined in August. So yeah, and it's just something that I've been doing. It's something that I've been loving, and I am just really happy that I've been able to do so well. And the best part about that is all of these books, I just bought all of these books for my birthday. I have, you haven't watched it, I have a video where I talk about 35 books for 35 years of old, and all of these except this one, I've had this book for 11 years and I just read it. I was scared. I was scared to read it, and when I picked it up I didn't want to put it down, and I just went right ahead to the next one. So I tell you guys, don't be shy, like, get it. But so all of these, so 10 of these books I got for my birthday, 10 of the 35, and I've read them already. So for me, I don't want to just get books just to haul them and just to say I have a book. I really wanted to read it, and I really wanted to change my life and be good. So this was 10, so that means I have 25 more to go. And also, if you missed it, I got some Happy Mail. I got 1 Happy Mail during the month of I think September, my first gift. So I'm really excited about that. And I was also able to pick up a few books from the Goodwill. So anyway, this is the end of the video. I appreciate you guys watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry that I missed August, so I just wanted to bring it here together, which does mean it's a longer video, but all of my videos are typically 10 minutes or under, so this will be my one long video, my wrap up. But I cannot wait to share with you guys my wrap up for October, and I have my first ever tag that I've made. If you didn't get tagged, if you haven't saw that, go ahead and take a look at that. I would love for you to join in on that tag. And I have posted several videos. It looks like I'm almost posting once a week, and I actually have a book coming, a couple of videos coming up where I'm talking about like my devotions and Bibles. I'm going to do a tour for you guys because I'm sure you noticed that my background is a little bit different now. So I've done some things differently in my space. So I want to show you guys my new space. And then I want us to go through and like arrange my books. And then I have a new Bible that's coming, I think tomorrow. So soon you'll be able to see that. So if you guys have any video suggestions, let me know them. I would like to see them. If you like this channel, would you give me a thumbs up? Would you subscribe? Would you share it? Or would you leave me pink hearts? I absolutely love pink hearts. When I see them, I get so excited. So guys, this is the end of this video. I'm gonna just tell you what I always tell you. Read another book, and blessings.